I got 6 o'clock, so I'm going to call the April 18th Board of Health meeting to order. First item on our agenda is the acceptance of the March 28th minutes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the prior meeting minutes of March 28th.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so passes. All right, on to new business. We have a well variance for a septic system on 51 Cranberry Meadow Shore Drive on the docket for tonight. We do have somebody potentially calling in. Do we want to?
Told him 6:02, so Jake can start, and he'll call and he can give his spiel. But remember, this was Tom approved it. Spoken to Matt. Matt's in favor. Matt's very familiar with the situation. Talked to Andrea while I was doing interviews. He doesn't feel that this is a situation that this improves the situation. It does not.
We're going from a leach field to a tank design, so that's definitely
Shed, just a tank.
Yeah.
Should I wait to present it until he calls, or?
It's up to the chairman. You can start it.
Why don't you, can you give us a background? I'm sure the gentleman
Yeah.
calling in knows the background because I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
So, this is 51 Cranberry Meadow Shore Road on
Okay.
Cranberry Pond. Cranberry Meadow Reservoir over here. This
right.
is over here. This is the road over here. Yeah, is that the big one? So, here's Cranberry Meadow Shore Road. Here's Cranberry Meadow Pond over here.
Chairman, can I answer this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
There's not really much to it.
You're in the meeting. We're discussing the situation now.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Sir, just for our records, could you please give us your name and your address here in Charlton?
Yes. My name is Shaughnessy T. Green, and I reside in 5237 South Irvington Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74135.
What is the address of your property in Charlton?
47 Cranberry Meadow Shore Road.
Okay.
And you are the listed owner, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The chairman is Mr. Pete Lancet.
Okay. And sir, right now we just have Jay Du Bois here who's going to explain the project to us.
Okay, yeah, I've got the prints and I saw the prints. Yes. And of course my concerns are the distance.
Yep. And this is the hearing for us to hear the plans and to make a judgment on the plans.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, so the property is 51 Cranberry Meadow Shore Road, which is basically right here. It's 25 feet wide, 100 feet to the water. Just abutting it is a 25-foot right-of-way as well. This is 47 over here. This is this gentleman's property right here. Currently, there's a cesspool down by the water, probably 15, 20 feet off the edge of the shore. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Usually it's some sort of a cinder block pit or something that's turned sideways. The pipe comes out of the basement into it, and it just leaches out into the soil. That's in failure. This is the house here. Basically, it's actually over the property line slightly, possibly. But you can see it takes up a good amount of the property. It's a 2,500 square foot lot. This is a deck back here. There's a couple of retaining walls where people park up here. This is the owner's well right here. So they're going to adjust the plumbing in the basement, run it out here, gravity into this tight tank. So this is a 2,000 gallon, sealed tank, and it'll have to be pumped as needed. There's an alarm float in it that'll go off inside the house when it gets to about 2/3 capacity. It gives them 4 or 5 days to get a pump truck in there to pump it out. It's 5 feet from the property line over here, 8 feet on this side, and 5 feet off the house. It's actually about 5 feet or so to the owner's well, and it's 38 feet to this well. As you can see, there's really not much to do here.
Yeah, so the tight tank would be much more safe than the current situation or in general any leach field for potential of contaminants.
Yeah, so like I said, the pit now that's in failure, that's been there for who knows how long, just leaches out into the soil.
Yep.
This is a containment that'll, it stays in there until it gets filled up and then it gets pumped out.
And the the leach pit that was there, I'm assuming because it's failed, there was some effluent that was going into the lake or somewhere?
Yeah, I don't
Or the
know
owner,
about
maybe.
that, but it very possibly could.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead.
I was just going to ask our caller, just so we know, what are your concerns with this plan?
Okay, are you asking me?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my concerns obviously is my well, and according to Title V, Section 15.211, the minimum setback distance was determined from the holding tank to be 50 feet of any private water supply well system. Now, that can go off of a variance can be granted. I read further into under 310 CMR 15-410. However, that states with regards to variances for new construction, enforcement of the provisioning from which a variance is sought must be shown to deprive the applicant of the ability to locate in it elsewhere. Now, the original location where they were originally planning to put this tank in was the old location of what was existing. And that was over 50 feet radius from my well, which qualified them under the state law that they had the minimum setback. So, with me, now they're changing it to be 37 or 38 feet, and obviously the laws were set up to help protect neighboring properties and systems accordingly. And of course, I'm just explaining how, my thoughts and my feelings about this.
I think you mentioned new construction.
Yeah, this is a repair. This is not new construction. This is a repair due to a catastrophic outbreak.
Plus the work.
Now you're putting in a new construction in a new location. Why would that not be considered a new location?
No, this is an existing house who has a septic leach field failure that we have to remediate and come up with a solution. So this tight tank is a containment tank that would prohibit any material leaching into the groundwater. So it's actually a safer system, outfitted with alarms that'll trigger when it needs to be pumped and everything. So rather than leaching into the ground, they're containing all output into a tank.
I have a concrete tank in Missouri, and it has cracked, and it has leaked, and I've had to do full repairs. I've seen these situations. I have a neighbor that, that their system broke, and it's now within 20 feet of, leaching 20 feet within their well. So I've actually seen this, and I do have some concerns, and I don't understand what was wrong with the original location.
So there was a few things that had come up with the original location. One was that DEP asked us to move it further away if there was any alternatives. Conservation also did not really like it being that close to the water. And third thing was that the tight tank, being that it was about 25 feet in elevation difference from the street, it was going to be potentially impossible to pump it, to have a vacuum, a pump truck be able to negative pressure a tank that much in elevation change.
I'm not sure I necessarily believe that, because I know where mine's located, and I know they've not had any problems pumping it. So, and in regards to, the lake, you have said repeatedly that this is a tight tank that never leaks. So why is the lake of a concern?
Because the elevation of the water is most likely going to be somewhere on that tank, and that could potentially, make the tank into a floating situation.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because I was born and raised in that location, and I know that house sits pretty high up in elevation off the lake. How far is this tank going down? I'm still taking under consideration, my water. I lose my water, that's it. My house is gone.
So the tank's about 7 feet deep, and it's about 2 feet below the surface. And the existing grade is 3 feet higher than the water. So
Well,
the tank's about 6 feet below the lake.
but if it's airtight and if it's so you're telling me when you dig, you're going to break water?
Most likely, if they dig that tank, that was one of the concerns, was that they're going to be creating a swimming pool.
Well, what about an above ground tank?
No.
It would have to go on the deck. I mean, and there'd be no way to get anything into the tank. It'd be above, elevation-wise. That just wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, it's not protected by state law. I don't understand. I mean, I thought I was entitled to 50 feet.
So the new construction doesn't apply for just replacing the tank. That applies for like a vacant lot that does not have a house currently. Where this is an existing dwelling, it falls under remedial use, which is why the local upgrade approval is allowed.
Sir, this is something that, Mr. Chairman, this is Jim Philbrook, the health director you spoke to. This is something that the board approves all the time, and especially with a tight tank and improving, I think what you're stating is untrue, and I think you need to look at this as an upgrade and protection of your well, and not what you're stating as you're worried about your well. If you're worried about your well and you should worry about the lake also. And like you said, that's going to float that tank if it's close, so that's why it's there. Your neighbors are trying to do the right thing, and I think this board has approved these with the quite often because it provides protection for the lakes in Charlton and for the residents' wells.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Okay, so I mean that's the case. Then this is just for me calling in and expressing is just kind of just so I can have a peace of mind, I guess. But so can we put in? I mean, obviously you're putting a concrete tank. Can you put in a tank within a tank, or is there other precautions that you could take to ensure? I mean, since we are so close.
I mean, respectfully, I don't feel like 38 is that close. But the owner's well is 5.
All right. Okay. Well, I mean,
I don't know what else you could really do to it. I mean, it's got to be a sealed tank. I mean, I don't know. Can't really put a tank inside of a tank. This is a 30,000-pound tank.
okay. So let me ask you this. All right. I know I have an artesian well. It's 160 feet down. Right. So I'm hoping that's going to give me some type of filtration, right? I mean, in respect to getting into the actual pool, right, that it draws from. Right?
I'm not sure where you're going with that, but does it make any sense if you ask me?
I'm just trying to be, I'm just trying to say, hey, since I'm so far down, I guess that will be an attribute to protect.
It should be set in bedrock, the casing, if it's an artesian well.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess, you guys let me speak my mind, and, accordingly, you guys were going to do this regardless, and I guess that's about it.
Yes. So, sir, we have to take it to a vote. There has to be a motion. So, I mean, that's why we're here to hear both sides, and now we'll determine if there's going to be a motion to approve the variance, and then we're going to take a vote. The Board of Health is going to take a vote on it. So we do appreciate you calling in and voicing your concerns. That's why we brought Jay in here to explain what he was doing. We've also had who else looked at it?
Tom Purcell.
Tom Purcell's looked at it. So we've had some research done on this. And that's our role here is to protect the environment, to protect the citizens. So we're not going to willfully do anything that's going to put anybody in danger. And looking at the options, this is a potential solution that does have the safest outcomes, compared to current state.
Okay, well, I thank you for that, and I appreciate you guys doing your job, and I am concerned, and that's why I did call in. So one last question I would put to the board. I mean, so what's a recourse? I mean, if something were to happen, I mean, what is a person's recourse?
This baseline testing done. This isn't a tank that you think is going to crack because yours cracked in. You said Wisconsin or Minnesota. With no disrespect for you, this tank has been tested, and approved, and this tank is being placed there because DEP and Conservation do not want it where you say you want it. So we have to comply with them also as the board. They have some say, especially the DEP and Conservation. They want it away from the water. They don't want them digging there. And I think, like Jay said, it's 5 feet from the owner's well, and he's not concerned, so I'm not sure why you are.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I mean, I respect you guys inviting me. I thank you for letting me know. And I am going off the intention that, you guys are the Board of Health, and you guys know what you're doing. How about that?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
He's going to stay on.
I will entertain a motion if you have one.
I'll make a motion that we pass the approval of the tight tank at 51 Cranberry Meadow.
Sure.
Variance for the.
Variance for the tight tank as drawn up on the plan in front of us.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All set, Jake.
You're all good.
That went okay.
Sometimes they can do like a baseline test. I'm in on his well. And
Yeah,
then in
we
like
could.
6 months or 2 years, he tests it again. And
But I didn't want to bring that up
because.
because he'd have you tested as well
Well, I
every
know, I
week.
didn't know.
And there's no need for
Well, I
it.
was going to ask how often in your
But
expertise
there's testing,
these things,
there's
these things
testing
have
done on
cracks
these
or
tanks
whatever.
to assure that they don't crack.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
They're pressure
There's been bad,
tested.
they're pressure tested, there's been bad, they're tested for pressure and snow and freezing, but I'm sure you're gonna encase it with stuff that's not gonna.
I mean, it's one of those things that it could crack. Like a foundation can crack.
Yeah.
But if it did crack, how much is really going to get out and seep 40 feet across through the dirt?
And then 160 feet down.
It's just not going to. It's not a leach field. It's got a 40-foot
No,
wide
it's
open
not.
bottom. It's just a little tiny hairline crack that could potentially happen. That's it.
But in that case, you'd have to fix it.
Right.
Pump it
Yes,
and fix
that's
it,
right.
that's all, you know?
All right.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Just moving along here. We have old business and anything on the Flint Road landfill.
Yes, Gary was testing today,
Okay.
all day, and he's gonna give me an update on a report for our next meeting. So-
You're talking PFAS testing?
He was there testing. As far as the PFAS testing,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure.
All
He
right,
didn't
so
tell me he's
testing.
starting to
Testing
test.
in general,
This
okay.
is the mandatory testing of our wells. Whether he included PFAS today, I'm not privy to the last meeting when he was doing it.
Yeah.
He didn't indicate to me that he was including the PFAS, but he may have, but I don't want to speak for
Right,
him.
no, that's fine. I just brought it up
But
because
he
that's
did,
where
when
my
he's
mind was.
there, he always reports to me that he's there in case something happens or someone calls. But he was there all day testing, and he'll be there tomorrow too. So-
Okay.
And the reports will follow.
All right. Just so we can give Andrew a couple minutes to come back. Do you want to just jump right into your department head report?
Basically, we've been doing a lot of meetings lately for the Charlton Coalition for Public Health. As you know, we do have our new van that's lettered, and some people like it, some people don't. But as you know, we have to. The windows cannot be visible from inside if they're doing invasive procedures and stuff. So our intent is to be a mobile vaccination unit at some point, and it's for inspectional services. So I've been using it as a plug-out back. Andrew has certainly getting us a better plug. It's slow. It takes a couple days to charge, but the van it's big. It's nice, and I thank him for providing it to the Board of Health, and that we need it because Kim's going to do inspections. We can't expect her to use her own vehicle because if she gets in an accident or something, it's certainly an issue for the town for safety. She's a full-time employee that works here in this department and does inspections and been using her own vehicle. So we have been compensating her, but at some point in time, we needed a vehicle, and I said we can kill two birds with one stone. And I think it's a lot of people wanted to do that, get a vaccination unit, and I think it's the thing where we can go to people's houses now that are shut-ins, or go to businesses and stuff for flu clinics and do everything. And Cheryl Rowinski's all in for it. And we do have a lot of nurses on our staff, as you know, still for the next year that won't be doing contract tracing, and we have other duties assigned for them, and they'll be taking a more active role in the community, offering blood pressure clinics, and they can use the van. We're going to be being more active.
That's where it's more vital too. For the liability, not transporting somebody else in your own vehicle and having a town vehicle to use. So you're well justified.
So our two nurses, Rihanna and Michaela, are also be able to go out and do blood pressure clinics, attend our health fairs and stuff, and do things, because contract tracing, even though it's in Maben, if it's Maben, I tell them they still have to follow up on it. We're really not following too much up on the COVID cases. They've been down to 1, 2. Charlton had 0 this week, so we pay them well, and they're very good and very talented, and they're going to help out with the public health nurse with TBs, following up on some of the stuff while she's out. So they're a good backup, and the Board of Health is growing. We have a lot of people, and that's why. So we're doing that. Certainly, like I said, we want to thank Andrew for the van, and we had it lettered, and that came from the grant. We transferred some money over that was in excess, so it was $1,600 to have it lettered. And some people think it's excess, but they expect you to cover the windows and properly identify what it is. So we had to do that. So but it's there. You want to move on to?
Yeah, other business unknown at the time of posting.
All right, Mr. Chairman, as you know, we've been part of the Charlton Coalition for Public Health. We've had a grant. We've hired Mary Carpenter.
Hello.
I'd like to introduce her. She's our community health coordinator, and she can tell you a little bit about herself. And go ahead, Mary.
I hate to talk about myself. Long time ago. No, my background is I'm a licensed social worker. I started out as an undergrad at Suffolk University, transferred to good old Worcester State, did sociology and elementary school teacher and psychology as a minor. I worked in the lab at St. V's for about 10 years and said I need to do something when I grow up. So just for fun, I went to Anna Maria, actually with Chief Purvier and another man that became an FBI agent back in the day, and I got my master's in criminal justice, just because I've always liked CSI kind of stuff, so I have a little bit of background in that. Then when I was done with that, I said, now I really have to grow up. So I went to Assumption and I got my master's in social rehab counseling. And shortly after that, I was employed as a clinician, which I still do on a very part-time basis. Now, I've been doing that for 22 years. In the meantime, I was fortunate enough for somebody to tell me about the type of job called resident service coordinator, which is basically what I was doing downstairs for the past 2 years as a council and agent outreach coordinator there. And that is just helping seniors or disabled stay independent or come in and ask for types of benefits, which I thoroughly enjoy. So I was doing that in subsidized housing with HUD. And so instead of having a captive audience in a high-rise, it's just basically the same thing, except now, of course, the community either do home visits or they come to me. And then this opportunity arose, and I thought, oh, nice new challenge, and it's something I look forward to and would, look forward to working with everybody and get some supports in the beginning here so I get on the right path, and, and I'll be meeting with the 4 towns, because you're one of them. I enjoy learning new things, and I enjoy knowledge and education. As I was explaining in the quick meeting that we had last week, is that along the way you pick up things such as, this sounds so negative, but I've learned how to do missing persons reports. I've learned how to go into court and do Section 12s, elder at risks. Because I work with children in nighttime as a clinician, I also, of course, do 51As. So I kind of I always say I have a bell curve in my jobs, working with the young and working with the elderly, and anything in between. So that's why I think I have a nice little smorgasbord of career the past 25 years. So it's basically me.
Well, Chief, if I may, Mr. Chairman, we interviewed quite a few people that were highly qualified. I let the other 4 towns decide the need, and they felt there was a need for community health. So, being a coalition and with us as the lead, we posted the job, and Mary had let the other 4 towns who were in on the interview process decide, because she was a child employee. So I went last as far as my opinion, and she far and away blew everyone away. She has a strong heart. I've worked with her before. She has helped the citizens of this community, will remain helping the seniors and the citizens, but be a tool for the Board of Health. in the event that we find someone who's homeless or in need, or a child that. So I think it's a tool that we need to utilize and people to know about. The job is morphing into what it needs to be, and I'm helping Mary do that, along with the 5 towns in the coalition, which includes Charlton. That it'll be a resource to the Board of Health that we've not had in a long time. When you walk away from a housing inspection, or if you issue an order of condemnation, temporary order or a complete order, what do you do with the people that are in there, or maybe substandard living conditions or hoarding? Mary has been a big help with that, and she'll continue to be a help for Charlton residents. So I think we have a strong person here, and I welcome her, and I hope the board welcomes her aboard. She's going to be in office downstairs right now. She's still helping our seniors, and will continue. But I think it's a great opportunity that the Board of Health now have this type of person that they have under their control, and to work with them. It's a big tool. And I thank Mary for taking the job, and hopefully the board will agree. Thank you.
Thanks. And I must add, I've worked with Jim for some places that have been
Absolutely.
condemned. And when I first came here, 3 senior citizens, I was rather shocked that they were living in cars. So it hits every town, everywhere, shortage of subsidized, and working around that, and try to get shelters, or find out if they're a veteran, to get shelters for them. It's tough out there. So that's one of the things I enjoy working, and trying to connect and network and find resources. That's what it's all about, connecting and finding resources.
And unfortunately, way too many people are living in squalor these days, and it's what we're faced with.
I've had one person that was about to lose their house. They were $3,500 behind on their mortgage. And I'm aware of the RAFT program, which is run by RCAP. And so I had them apply. So that was one of the feel goods that I do for people. They paid his $3,500 mortgage so he could catch up, because it's tough out there, So those are the things I enjoy doing when somebody doesn't know they're paying so much for their insurance and they don't have to pay for the Medicare B. I had a gentleman paying the $170 at the time, and his wife, and he was paying $75 for insurance he didn't need and $65 for a supplement. So I got rid of all that. So they ended up pocketing every month $500. So stuff like that I enjoy doing.
That's nice.
Makes you feel good.
It's good, but she's now under the auspices of the control of the Board of Health, under myself, but under as the board, she's now sort of like an agent, but certainly as a tool for the Board of Health under this, Charlton
Coalition.
the Charlton Coalition for Public Health. She's part of that, but she'll be working for Spencer, Sutton, Sturbridge, Wales, and Charlton. So.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. And thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out, I was trying to rear my glasses on, boss.
So, do you want to do them one at a time, Mr. Chairman, or do you want to, because Emily is here, Emily Quinn, is the Regional Health Inspector for appointment also.
Would you rather separate motions, or I'm okay with either.
It's up to you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Do you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept
Mary Carpenter.
Mary Carpenter. Yes, it was right there.
as the Community Health Coordinator
As
under the Board of Health.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I'll second.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
was quick, huh?
I know.
You do that way. We'll do it one at a time.
Yeah, there
Ask
you
Matt
go.
later.
All right.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank
we look
you.
forward. I've been already working with Mary anyway. She's helped me. Sometimes I have to be the bad guy and issue an order of condemnation, or find someone who's living and put them in a hotel, as I did before. And Mary helped me out. And this gentleman is now living in better conditions, and his family is happy and very appreciative. So, thank you again, Mary. So.
Yep, thank you.
I guess on the next one, Mr. Chairman, we had our final secondary interview today with Emily Quinn, and the region decided to offer her the position as a regional health inspector. So she's here tonight before the board to be appointed. So
Nice to meet you both. I'm Emily. I'm currently working for the town of Southbridge as a health inspector there. I've been there for a little over 2 years now. I have my bachelor's in public health, and beyond that, I just have a strong background in food service and customer service. So I'm looking forward to
And housing.
and housing. So much
Housing,
housing.
ooh.
And all of that. So I'm looking forward to kind of taking on some more roles and responsibilities and getting to know the towns and working with you all.
Very good. Welcome.
We had a lot of people apply that had strong backgrounds, but we felt that the region, as I let them all agree, because Sturbridge had to agree, Spencer and Wales, and also Sutton. So she's going to be working as Mary is for the 5 under the coalition. So they all unanimously agreed that we offer the job to Emily, but she is a Charlton employee, so she has to be approved not only by first this board, but by the other 4 boards. But this is the biggest one. This is the one that means the most. So.
All right. Back to me, I guess. If all is said and done, I'll make a motion that we appoint Emily Quinn
As the regional health inspector.
Regional Health Inspector.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're on too. Anybody else need a job?
Yeah.
You don't have any spare time.
Maybe next meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, thank you both for coming in. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome to stay.
Welcome to- yeah, you're
It's going to
welcome
be
to
pretty
stay.
dry, I think, from here on in.
Yeah, I think we're for now. But Emily, we really appreciate it and welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Everyone was very impressed by you today, and I met with Andrew to let him know that's why he's here as the town administrator.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to
No,
really.
Yeah, I know, we kind of-
Are you-
Kinda stuck at that word.
Yeah.
So,
He's not just our mascot.
No, he's the town administrator here, a great guy, and you'll get to know him. And I went and spoke with him after we met, and that's why I asked him to come down. So
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you,
you
Mary.
both.
Jim, I will see you, I guess, tomorrow.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Because
Absolutely.
I think today's, I'm all messed up.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I guess
Wednesday.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to give you my number. Call me.
Yeah, I think you left it
Did
for
I give it
me.
to you?
Do you have my, well, you must have my phone number because you called me.
I did call you. So just you can let me know when you. So you're going to give me notice. We'll talk. Why don't you call me tomorrow, or if you haven't, you
Okay.
guys have to get out of work or something.
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
All right, thank you. Nice to
All
meet you
right,
all.
have a good
board.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Emily.
night. See
Thank you,
soon.
Emily.
Would you like the door shut or open?
No, it has to remain open.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got it.
All right.
It does.
Open meeting law.
Yes.
Cannot close the door. Drew?
Get locked.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
thank you. I think this board is growing and this office is growing. I think we have a great team, and I thank the board, and I thank the town administrator for that. I think that we're able to do a lot of stuff now, and we have a lot of tools at our disposal here to take on and do more things to help the community, and we're gonna see us out there more, doing more things and being active in the community. So I think it's a great thing.
That's awesome.
Just gotta find us more space.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just going to
Yeah.
look around. You need some more desk space.
That space is one thing. Physical space is the other part.
Yeah, we're growing. Mary will be downstairs. Andrew found her a small spot that we're getting her a desk, and we ordered a chair and stuff today. She needs a private space to meet with people and talk about private things, and I think that's key. So we had to get her replaced. Some things that you don't want to be out speaking in an open room. Even myself, sometimes it's have to ask people to leave, but I think it's a great thing for Charlton. We took the lead, and now we're the Charlton Coalition for Public Health, and we're helping out other towns. But at the same time, we're the lead in this, and it's thanks to this board and to Andrew, we're taking the lead and going forward. And they're only offering more and more grants. And I talked to him today about what else do we need. So, but I thank you both for
All good work. All great work.
Yeah, it's good.
Was there any other business unknown at the time of posting that we had to review?
Or other department head.
Did you sign the paperwork? Was there any paperwork for you to sign?
There's
I don't
nothing.
believe
There's
so.
nothing
There's
really
nothing
there.
there.
So, and that's another thing about signing now.
It's
We've
electronic.
gone with the permitized, so some of it, my name is on it now, so there's not a lot for you to sign
Okay.
because we've gone on the computer side of it. So they can pay with the credit card. It improves things, less traffic. It improves time. If people live far away, they can apply and get their application in and stuff. Installers have been applying. It's working good. The girls have been working very hard on it. The system works good. And we also have gone with the computerized inspectional system with the Food Code Pro, and Emily is going to be trained on that also, and we're all going to use that. So I'll be able to look at it when the people are out in the field to make sure if they have a question or whatever, and if there's something wrong, we can make corrections to make sure that all the reports, because they go to the state now right away, so they're keeping a close eye on us. It's part of regionalization is closer. And they're required to do training now and certification, all get up to the same level of training, so we're all on the same base, every municipality. So, the only two municipalities that are not part of regionalization are East Brookfield and Millbury, so
Okay.
In the county?
in all of Massachusetts.
Wow. It's interesting. Okay.
But thank you very much. So.
Thank you. Do we want to determine the next meeting?
Well, we can tentatively, because
right.
with not knowing that schedule, but 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Do you want to shoot for May 2nd? In case we want to do any reorganization before the 6th.
We can, sure. Yeah, it should be available.
I'm always going to.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll plan our next meeting for May 2nd at 6 p.m.
Did I just see a pen light up, or is mine?
Yes.
I'm like, I think I see light. What's it come?
Jim, before we adjourn,
Yep.
is there anything from yesterday's spill that we should need to talk about, or we can share since it was all over social media?
I talked to Andrew about it today. He didn't know much about it either. I know you saw it on social media. It was a response by the fire department. Deputy Chief Cantara responded to the scene. It was a spill by a local oil company into the road. DEP was notified, did not respond. The fire department handled it. They will be hiring a company to check for contamination. It was controlled in the street on the side of the road. I think it was about 30 gallons from what I hear, but I'm not sure if they forgot to close the cover or flipped out or something happened or the tank levied, but it was in the street. So usually DEP allows the fire department to respond. We have it's a chargeable thing to the oil company for overtime and services rendered as far as equipment. And I think the fire department did a tremendous job making sure that it didn't spread any further. So they did a good job. They were on scene quick and mitigated. We will get a report from the DEP once it's settled. And we always get the reports for the spill. We get them all the time from Mass 10. From the truck stop, they walk away from filling and they put them in 10-gallon spills. They charge them and they send us. Or if something in a car accident happens, we do get all those.
Great. Thank you. All right. We have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting of April 18th, 2023.
All right. A second. And at 6:38, we're going to adjourn the meeting.
Sounds good to me.